Hello VAC fans, welcome back to another video, and yes, another video. I'm doing so many videos these days. I'm beginning to run out of things to video upstairs, to be quite honest, and I'm not going to be able to carry on doing videos at the rate of one a day, I don't think, in the future. I've been building up my library quite quickly in the last month or so, because I had a long time off and I didn't really film very much. The early videos that I did back in 2014, I don't think they were all that good. A lot of them weren't done in HD, they weren't widescreen, and a lot of them they were all with the camera just sat on the back there permanently. There wasn't any close-ups of the machine. So what I'm doing some remakes of the vacuums that I did back then. That's if I've still got them. So there are some that I did in 2014 that I've no longer got, so obviously I can't do remakes and updated reviews of those machines. I did say in another video which ones I've got rid of, but people keep leaving comments on there on the old ones that I did in 2014 to do remakes. It's not always possible to do that. I think there's a watcher called Olivia. She's one of my younger viewers, and she keeps putting these comments on the old videos telling me to remake them. I think this was one of them as well, so I thought, well, why not, we can do this one again. I've still got it upstairs. And it's actually quite good to do remakes, because having had the machine now for 3 or 4 years since the last review, I'm in a position to be able to say what went wrong with it, how it's been, you know, what problems have I had with it, which in the original reviews, when the machine was quite new, I didn't know about what I was going to be facing with. As regards new machines, I mean, I've been looking at the Argos catalogue, well, the website on there, and I said that hell would freeze over if I would ever get a Dyson, what do they call them now, the hand sticks. But I haven't got one yet, but I was seriously tempted when I was looking at the website today, and they've got the V8 Animal on there for £349.99. £350 for the V8 Animal, so there's like £120 off. And I was so close tonight to going down to Argos and buying one. And I thought of my bank balance. I thought, I have just bought a Dyson light ball this month. I've bought a big ball cylinder over there this month. I just cannot afford to buy a V8 Animal. I was looking at the V6. They had some of those for 220, but it's the very old-fashioned type, that with a very short run time, and it only had one floor head, and it wasn't a very good floor head, in my opinion. The direct drive ones seem to be better than the V8s have. I want one which has got a good run time on, and I want one that you know, it's got that the good emptying system on it, that it clears the shroud as you empty it. I might get one eventually, but I just don't think I can afford to get one at the moment. The prices are still too much. But I'm not saying I'll never get one. I might well get one in the future. As regards other machines, I just can't really see anything in the Argos catalogue that I actually want at the moment. I keep looking through and seeing what's going on special offer I think it's every Tuesday night into Wednesday morning they put the special offers, they change them. And I go on there and I thought, oh, this week it's the Miele Cat and Dog C2 Complete, £140. That's a good price, excellent price. And the DC40 clearance offer, £179.99. But the problem was, when I went on there to look, they'd all sold out. No animals, they'd all sold out. So it's all very well of Argos giving these clearance offers. And you think, oh, wonderful. And then you look on there and there's none in stock. So what's the point? Well, you know, having a bit of a moan again there. I do get fed up with Argos doing that. You know, what's the point in putting a special offer on if there's none in stock? You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to go on to the one we're going to do today, which is the Vax Mach 9. Now this is a very unusual machine. I've had this for a few years. I was looking at, there's an American collector who goes by the name of Richard Belot, or Belo, I think it is. And he did a video of the Eureka Airspeed Zoom, I think it was. And I put a comment on there that I thought that was very similar to this. And in a lot of ways, it is, because this has appeared in this country as well, under the, I think it was the Electrolux guys. And it's been named quite a few things. And what they do is they tweak the design just a little bit. And I thought, well, this is not a Vax, this can't be a Vax design, this machine. because there's one issue I've had with this. I've had no issues with it. That's why it can't be a Vax design, because nothing's gone wrong with it. You know, in all honesty, every single other Vax that I've bought that's been one of their own TTI designs, there's been problems, issues, design faults, quality flaws, and they've been absolute pants. But this one has actually not been a half bad machine. To have the Vax name on it is just very unusual, in my opinion. It's but when I saw it under the Electrolux name, or it could have been the AEG, and I thought, ah, there we go. It's not actually a Vax machine. They must have bought the design or bought the rights to produce it off another company and just stuck their own label on the front. And I thought, no wonder, you know, it's actually a really half-decent machine, this is. It's got multi-cyclonic separation on. It's got a really good quality sort of plastic finish to it. It's got a really nice handle to it. It's nice to push along. It feels better quality. It's got a different type of hose to most other Vaxes on the back here, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I'll get the camera off and we'll have a closer look. But the thing that gives it away is this suction diverter here on the bottom. This that goes between floor and tools, and you turn that round to divert suction. And that is what appears on the Electrolux and on the American version, on the Eureka. And it's in exactly the same place, just about everything else on here you can see that's definitely not a Vax machine. Or if it is, then Eureka must have copied it, and Electrolux must have copied it. So I originally opened that to comments when I first put the video on, but no one was really interested back then, so it didn't really get a lot of views. So I'm asking again now, who designed this machine? Who designed it? Was it TTI or was it Electrolux? I don't know. I've got a feeling it can't be TTI. A very, very strange one this is. Very, very odd. Very odd machine. It's only a single motor. It was only quite a cheap price. I think I paid about £100 for it. And it was from Curry's. So it's their own version of it, saying the Mach 9 Pet. Apparently everywhere else you would have this in an orange version, just like the ordinary version, but with no turbo brush. And this came with the turbo tool, so it's suitable for pet use. So I thought that was pretty good. And for the price it was, I mean initially I think it was more expensive, but they put the price down. It didn't sell very well, and then it was discontinued quite quickly, so they weren't all that popular, the Mach 9. And it's a shame, because they're not half bad machines, to be honest, for the money. And it's only a single motor, as I say, so you can't turn the brush roll off for hard floors. So I wouldn't use this on a hard floor, I just use it on carpet. It's a carpet cleaner, really. It says it's got a hard floor setting on there, so you probably could use it for hard floors. But I wouldn't want to risk it on the lino, because these type of ones here, where you can't turn the brush roll off, they're just not suitable for my floors. What else can I say about it? The stock label says that it was made in 2012, so this is 5 years old now. Although it's had some use, I have used this, and it's still on its original belt, but when I store them the belt comes off. So let's get the camera off then, and we will go into the detail of this machine, and then we'll push it round. So we'll have a quick look of it. So here we go. This is the Vax Mach 9, and as we start at the top of the handle, as we usually do with my reviews, what we've got here is something that Vax very, very rarely ever do on their machines. It's put an on-off switch right at the top of the handle there, so you can operate that with your finger without any of this foot switches down the bottom. Okay, which is what Vax normally, they foot switch here, don't they? If you think of most Vaxes. But this one hasn't, it's right at the top. But what it does, it operates a push rod that goes all the way down the machine and operates the switch, which actually is down the bottom. The switch actually is in the bottom of the machine, but it just operates a plastic push rod that goes all the way down the spine from that switch. And you can hear it. Hear the operation of that as it's going down. It's got a fairly nice handle on there that I haven't really had much issues with. It's a nice, comfy handle to hold. I think if you had very big hands there, you might find it a little bit restricting. It does tend to dig into your little finger just here on that corner. That's the only thing I noticed with it, just here on that corner. A little bit uncomfortable in your little finger if you're using it for extended time. but you just move your hands down, and there's your on and off switch, right to hand. Excellent design, that. Coming down the back, we've got the cable. It's not a long cable on this. I think it's about a 6 metre, but I wasn't too worried because it was only a budget machine anyway. It didn't cost me a lot. So it's not the longest cable, but they give you 2 cord hooks on this. There's one there, another one there. So it has got one of my gripes where the cable comes out at the bottom. Don't really like that very much, but those are redeeming features because you've got the cord clips at the top. Now, on the back, what we've got is 2 tools. You've got the extension rod here, and inside the extension rod are a scabbard tool, very, very, very long crevice tool that is. It's one of the longest that I've ever seen. That is absolutely massive. That is the full length of the extension rod. So there's the crevice tool. You've got the dusting brush here, upholstery tool, which sits in there. This is soft enough to be a dusting brush, but it's not the best. Let's put it that way. It will pull off, like so, and that's their idea of what the upholstery tool is. So again, that's not very brilliant, but it's a budget machine. You're not going to get fantastic tools on a budget machine, and it's sufficient. It's not one of these all-in-one tools. That's the basic thing with that. And then we've got the hose. Now this hose is a very different design. This is just so reminiscent of a Bissell. The Bissells usually have handles on like that. I'm sure my other Bissell did. And you will pull the hose out, and it stretches out from the back. Very, very similar to a Dyson, the way that stores in there, except you haven't got the wand that stores inside it like on a Dyson. You just basically pull it out of that clip, and there's no automatic changeover valve either. You have to do it manually. There are advantages and disadvantages to that. One of the advantages to that is that it shortens the air path quite considerably, in that when you're picking up from the floor, all the dirt is not having to go all the way around the hose before it goes into the bin. Literally, it comes in the floor head, comes through, up that pipe to the changeover valve, and then straight into the bin from there. But if you wanted to use the tools, you would turn that there to the tools mode, like so. And then all the suction is not going through here, but coming up here instead. That comes off for cleaning by simply pushing these 2 tabs in like that, and then you can pull your valve out like so. And there you can see the various different valves in there. That's the valve there, that's the hole that goes to the bin from the suction, and then it's decided whether it's either going up down there or up there. So that goes in like so, and then the cover goes back on. Come on, like so. So that's good for removing any blockages if they are in that changeover valve. So the hose, let me see, how long does that stretch to? So it's an okay length of hose. It's not a stair hose, it's not a full length stretch hose, but it's okay for working round you, and it comes in from the bottom of the machine rather than the top. So it will follow you, but it's more difficult. I mean, I suppose you could pull it over if you pulled it violently enough, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I prefer to hold the grip here. I don't like the handle on it, but if you hold it there, it's better. And then you can put your turbo tool on it as well, so that you can use... I will demo that in a bit. So we'll have the demo shortly, and I'll demo the turbo tool going on it. So yeah, we do like the hose. That's quite good. But what you've got to do is, when you've used the hose, not forget to turn it back to floor. Because if you forget to turn it back to floor, you'll be pushing it round, wondering why it's not picking anything up. I've done that a couple of times myself. So that is one drawback with that. If you forget to turn it back to floor, well, you're going to be wasting your time because it won't pick anything up. Right, so here is the stock label on it. There we can see 3212 on there. That's the week 32 2012. I'm pretty sure that's the dating system on there. That's how they decide how old it is. It's a 1200 watt machine, so it's not a power guzzler, and this was before the EU brought in the regulations as well, so it's always been quite a low wattage, this. So in America that's the equivalent of a 10 amp machine. Is it like in America, their Eureka ones, I think they are 10 amps, these. So that's the equivalent of 1200 watts. The model number is U88-T4-P. And as in all Vaxes, I would imagine the Eureka version is also made in China as well. But for one that's made in China, this is not too bad. It's not too bad. Right, so there is the pedal recline here. And what else are we going to talk about on the front? You've got your carpet pile selector there. And again, from this shot here, you can see just how much the Eureka Airspeed zoom. This looks very, very similar indeed. Very similar. The only difference really is the way they did this, the plastic on the back here, that is slightly different. But essentially it's the same platform. The same platform of machine. The bin on the front is a multi-cyclonic separator, and I had no issues with this at all. I actually thought that this was rather good. There wasn't any issues with clogging on it, and the filter stays moderately clear. When you look at that, that's how the filter gets dirty, with very fine dust like that, but it takes a little while to build up. You don't get much fluff and everything getting through. So as far as I'm concerned, those Cyclones actually work very well. They discharge, let's just open the bottom here. The Cyclones discharge directly into the tube. Now if I hold the thing up to the light like this, you can see right down the bottom there of each Cyclone, it discharges into the centre tube without going through anything else in the process. So the Cyclones have always got somewhere to discharge into, basically into the fine dust tube there. And it works well. It works well on that machine. I've never had any issues with clogging on it. And there we go, some dirt's dropped out of it now, look, on the floor. So there's something we're going to have to vacuum up with it in a bit. That's basically what's come out of the fine dust tube when I've disturbed it there. So that's what the Cyclones push out. So there we go, that's that. For cleaning, it will disassemble basically by turning the top round. So you turn it round like so, and then you can lift the whole thing out like that to clean the shroud down, or if anything gets trapped between there and the bin, you can just turn it round, lift it out, and if necessary empty the bin by tipping it upside down into the bin. So that I like as well. Very accessible for cleaning. So there's the Cyclone system. Underneath that you've got your post motor filter, which is just under here, and that is a washable affair. Basically it's a HEPA filter. There's a rubber seal in the bottom there, so they're attempting to try and make it a sealed system as best they can. Inside there is another sort of a foamy sponge filter, which I'm presuming might act as a noise insulator. That goes back in there, and there we put the filter back, and then we can put our bin back on it. And the final thing we're going to look at underneath here is the underside. So we tip it back, and this is the brush roll. That brush roll is yeah, that's right, okay. That's a pretty good brush roll. It's got nice, stiff bristles. It's very American, the style of this. Very, very, it's like very like the Bissell that I've got upstairs, and I must do another review of that as well, the Bissell Clean View. But this really is quite an aggressive brush roll. It does a really good job of cleaning, that does. You've got no brushes at all though at that end, so that won't get brushed from there to that side. You'll get a bit of suction here, so that may be a little bit of a drawback. It's quite a narrow cleaning path, but where it does clean, it's pretty good. You've got the little gaps in the brush roll here, as you did with older styles, but it's not a bad it's not a bad cleaner for the money. To change the belt, you'd remove that screw, one straight down the bottom of there, and one down that hole there. And when you turn it over, the hood will come off and you replace the belt from the top. You don't replace it from underneath, you turn the cleaner over and do it from the top. And there's your pile adjustment wheels, and they lift the machine clear of the carpet when you're going to use the tools. So let's stand it back upright again. And I'll put that filter back in and we'll have a push round with it on the carpet here. So let me just put the top back in. Because I don't want to be operating it with no filter. Right, okay. Let's reposition the camera up on the top and lower it down, and we will have a good push round in the room with it. See how it sounds and how it works. I'm not going to put any test dirt down on this. I might do a big mess test with it in due course, but today it's just a quick demonstration and the review. We'll just put those away. And those. So that has to clamp back on there first. That's probably going to be easier said than done. There we go, done. And I've now got dust all over there. This is one of the reasons why I wear grey pants a lot, because black shows all the dust from vacuums. Not a good colour to wear when you're dealing with these. Right, let's plug it in. Aggressive brush roll. You can really see how that's bringing the pile up really well there. Do in the front room as well then. I'll put the camera back down on here. just going to get the turbo tool on for the last minute or so, just on this chair. We'll change it over to tools. Well, that's not a very good one, is it? I've got a feeling that wasn't the right turbo tool for this. Well, there we go. That was the little demonstration there of the Vax Mach 9 Pet. So it's been a machine that I've actually been quite impressed with, to be honest, for the money. And after 4 years, for me to say that about a machine with a Vax badge on is quite unusual. So if you're seeing these Vax Mach 9s kicking around on eBay, and they go for quite cheap now, this one especially with the turbo tool, it's worth getting. I would say get it if you think you need one. I'd say they're really good for the money. So it's about an 8 out of 10 machine really for the money, about 100 quid. So that'll do for this one, and I'll see you again on the next review. Bye for now.